The flames danced with a sinister joy that cold December night, casting eerie shadows that flickered and twisted in the darkness. Consuming the Sodder family home in Fayetteville, West Virginia, a place that had always been a sanctuary of warmth and love. It was Christmas Eve, 1945, a time for merriment and cheer, when families gathered around the hearth to celebrate the season of giving. But for George and Jennie Sodder, it became a night etched in unimaginable horror, a nightmare that would forever alter the course of their lives. The fire, swift and merciless, ripped through their humble abode, devouring everything in its path with an insatiable hunger, leaving behind a smoldering ruin and a mystery that would baffle investigators and haunt the nation for decades to come, a puzzle with pieces that never quite fit together. 5 of the Sodder children, their laughter and dreams swallowed by the inferno, vanished without a trace, leaving behind only questions and heartache. George and Jennie Sodder, Italian immigrants who had built a simple life in the American heartland, were blessed with a large family, a testament to their hard work and dedication. Their 10 children filled their days with laughter and their small house with life, a bustling home where every corner echoed with joy and love. But on that fateful Christmas Eve, their world shattered, the joyous holiday turning into a scene of chaos and despair. The fire, believed to have started in the attic, spread with alarming speed, fueled by the dry wood and fanned by a winter wind, turning the house into a blazing inferno in mere moments. The terrified parents managed to escape the inferno along with 4 of their children, their hearts pounding with fear and desperation. But for 5 others, there would be no escape, their fate sealed by the relentless flames that consumed their home. As the flames roared and crackled, George Sodder desperately tried to reach his trapped children, his heart breaking with every passing second. He raced to his ladder, only to find it mysteriously missing, as if swallowed by the night itself, a cruel twist of fate that left him helpless. He tried driving his coal truck closer to the house, hoping to climb atop and reach his children's windows, but the engine, usually reliable, refused to start, adding to the mounting horror. Frantic, George and Jennie screamed into the night, their pleas for help swallowed by the roar of the fire and the chilling December wind, their voices lost in the chaos. The fire had transformed their home into a raging inferno, an inescapable death trap, or so it seemed, a place where hope was extinguished as quickly as the flames spread. Firefighters arrived at the scene, but it was too late. The house was already consumed by the flames, leaving little more than ashes and unanswered questions. In the aftermath, investigators sifted through the rubble, searching for clues, but the mystery of the missing children only deepened. The story of the Sodder family tragedy spread, capturing the attention of the nation as people grappled with the haunting questions left in the fire's wake. George and Jennie never gave up hope, holding vigils and searching for answers, their love for their children driving them to seek the truth, no matter how elusive it seemed. The memory of that Christmas Eve inferno remained, a painful reminder of a night when joy turned to sorrow and a family's love was tested by unimaginable loss. The missing children, Maurice 14, Martha 12, Louis 9, Jennie 8, and Betty 5 became phantoms in the night. Their faces, once full of life and promise, now stared back from faded photographs and missing person posters, haunting reminders of a family torn apart. The fire, now reduced to smoldering embers, offered no trace of their young lives. The once vibrant home, filled with laughter and love, was now a desolate ruin, a stark contrast to the warmth it once held. The authorities, assuming the worst, concluded that the children had perished in the blaze, their bodies consumed by the flames. The fire's intensity left little hope for survivors, and the official reports were grim and final. But for George and Jennie Sodder, the absence of their children, the lack of any identifiable remains, was a chilling testament to an unknown fate. Their hearts ached with a pain that words could not describe, a void that no amount of time could fill. Their grief was compounded by a gnawing suspicion that something was terribly wrong, that the fire was not the end of their children's story, but rather a sinister chapter in a mystery yet to be solved. They couldn't shake the feeling that the fire was a cover for something far more sinister. The official investigation, hampered by the ferocity of the fire and the passage of time, proved frustratingly inconclusive. Investigators sifted through the ashes, but the evidence was scarce and the answers elusive. The cause of the fire remained undetermined, a terrifying question mark hanging over the Sodder family's grief. Theories abounded, but none could definitively explain the tragedy that had befallen the Sodder family. The lack of concrete evidence, the absence of closure, only deepened the mystery, fueling whispers and speculation that would echo through the decades. The townspeople whispered of foul play, of secrets and lies, and the Sodders found themselves at the center of a storm of rumors. Had the Sodder children perished in the fire as the authorities believed? Or was there another, darker explanation for their disappearance? Or had they somehow escaped the inferno, only to be lost in the shadows, their fates forever entwined with the mystery of that Christmas Eve fire? The possibility that they had been taken, spirited away under the cover of darkness, haunted the Sodders. The Sodders, clinging to a sliver of hope, refused to believe that their children were gone. They held on to the belief that somewhere, somehow, their children were still alive, waiting to be found. They scoured the charred remains of their home, desperately searching for any sign, any fragment of bone or belonging that would confirm the authorities' grim conclusion. Each day brought a new search, a new hope, and a new heartbreak, but their search yielded nothing, only deepening their despair and fueling their determination to uncover the truth. The lack of evidence was both a curse and a blessing, leaving them in a limbo of hope and despair. The fire, they believed, held secrets, and they were determined to pry them loose no matter the cost. Their quest for answers became a relentless pursuit, driven by love and the unyielding belief that their children were out there, somewhere, waiting to come home. Unable to find peace in the official narrative, the Sodders embarked on a tireless crusade for answers. Their hearts heavy with grief, they refused to accept the conclusion that their children had perished in the fire. The official story left too many questions unanswered, too many inconsistencies that gnawed at their souls. They posted flyers with their children's pictures in every town and village within a 100-mile radius, hoping that someone, somewhere, had seen their beloved children. The flyers became a common sight, plastered on telephone poles, shop windows, and community boards, a constant reminder of the family's anguish. Their pleas for information echoed through the hills and hollers of West Virginia, carried by the wind to every corner of the state. The rural landscape, with its tight-knit communities and isolated homesteads, became a vast canvas for their desperate search. They contacted the FBI, desperate for any lead, any clue that could shed light on the fate of their missing children. Each call, each letter was a lifeline thrown into the abyss, hoping to pull back some fragment of truth. But their efforts seemed to vanish into thin air, met with dead ends and shrugs of indifference. The case files gathered dust, and the authorities' interest waned, leaving the Sodders to navigate their sorrow alone. The authorities, convinced that the case was closed, offered little help, leaving the Sodders to grapple with their grief and suspicion alone. Their frustration grew as they encountered bureaucratic apathy and a lack of urgency from those who were supposed to help. Years turned into decades, but the Sodders never wavered in their belief that their children were alive. Their home became a shrine to their lost children, filled with photographs and mementos, each item a testament to their enduring hope. They chased down every lead, every rumor, every whisper in the wind that hinted at their children's survival. From dense forests to remote towns, they followed trails that often led to heartbreak, but never deterred them from their mission. A psychic medium, consulted in their desperation, claimed that the children were alive, but held captive in a nearby state. This revelation, though unverified, fueled their determination and added a new dimension to their search. A woman in Texas contacted them, convinced that her neighbor's children were the long-lost Sodder siblings. The Sodders traveled across states, their hearts filled with cautious optimism, only to face yet another dead end. Each lead, each glimmer of hope, ended in crushing disappointment, but still, they persisted. Driven by an unbreakable bond of love and a refusal to let their children be forgotten. Their story became a symbol of parental devotion and the relentless pursuit of truth. The Sodders, haunted by what they perceived as inconsistencies in the official investigation, began to suspect foul play. The missing ladder, which was always kept in a specific spot, had mysteriously vanished on the night of the fire. The truck that wouldn't start, despite being in perfect working condition the day before, added to their suspicions. These anomalies were too significant to ignore, suggesting that someone had deliberately sabotaged their efforts to save their children. The lack of any remains, these weren't just unfortunate coincidences. They were pieces of a puzzle that hinted at a more sinister truth. The absence of bones or any physical evidence of their children's demise was a glaring contradiction to the official narrative. Their suspicions fell on a variety of potential culprits, from disgruntled neighbors with whom they had quarreled to organized crime syndicates operating in the shadows. Each theory, each possibility, was meticulously examined, adding layers of complexity to their quest. Each theory, each accusation, only deepened the mystery, transforming their quest for answers into a descent into a labyrinth of speculation and paranoia. The Sodders' home became a war room, filled with maps, notes, and photographs, each string connecting a potential clue in their intricate web of investigation.